Hello and welcome. What are we doing today?
Alright, today's video is all about the best and worst moments of our travels in 2016.
So, one of the worst things that happened last year was I cut my finger open in Italy. Can you see that? So it was now 2 months ago that this happened.
Not too long ago, yeah.
It still hurts actually. And yeah, it was a really bad cut. I actually needed 7 stitches. We got to go to Italian hospital. We got to see what A&E was like in Italy. Biggest thing that we found from that was everyone in Italy is really lovely. Like, we knew that anyway, but they're just really even more lovely than we knew.
We made an entire video about our experience, link is in the description. And we also stayed in Italy, quite a few times. We're in Italy right now, in Sicily, and we just had an amazing Christmas and New Year's. And yeah, now on to one of the best things that happened last year.
Okay, so we have one of the worst things that happened all year, and it was in Italy. What was one of the best things that happened all year?
It also happened in Italy, and we've been filmed for television again. So this was the second time we got filmed for German television. It was a different channel this time. It was one of the biggest channels in Germany and in all of Europe.
It still is.
And it still is now, and it was an amazing experience. I want to say thank you very much to everyone involved.
It was viewed by over 1 million people, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was definitely one of the best things for us that happened this year. And now on to another thing that was not so good.
Dun, dun, dun.
So perhaps one of the worst things that happened to me last year was when I got food poisoning. We were in the Philippines at the time. We had an amazing time in the Philippines too, up until that point where unfortunately I got food poisoning. Fortunately I was in Manila, which is the capital of the Philippines. It's an amazing place. You should definitely go and visit the Philippines if you get a chance. Just be careful what you eat. So I got food poisoning, and I was very fortunate to be in a hotel where they had an on-call doctor available. So Laura was really nice and got the doctor to our hotel room, and she basically said to drink a certain energy drink that would
She gave you antibiotics as well.
She did give me antibiotics as well, that's true. And yeah, it did help, so...
Well, you were fine after?
I was fine after a few days, thank God. But it was a very unfortunate experience, and it was very bad timing because it was on our 10-year anniversary. Okay,
so one of our absolute favourite moments of 2016 was going to the Philippines.
The Philippines! Yeah!
We wanted to go there for 3 whole years, ever since we left Australia, and we heard about the Philippines. I don't think I actually heard about the Philippines until that point.
That's not true.
Well, I think I might have never thought about it really, let's say.
Never thought about going there, maybe.
I've never seen pictures of it or anything, and then
like
I saw these pictures, and we saw these pictures, and the beaches just looked amazing. Anyway, this year was our anniversary, our 10-year anniversary. Where did we want to go more than anywhere else? The Philippines, so we went there. Luckily, we were on the beaches a few days before Tombo was ill, so we got to still enjoy the beaches. My gosh, they are incredible. Like, I look at the photos and I can't even believe that they were real, because it just looks so, it looks photoshopped. It's so beautiful, but I swear it's not Photoshop. I don't have Photoshop. I want Photoshop though, let's get that. Anyway, one of our top moments of 2016 was hanging out on the beaches in El Nido, Palawan, the Philippines. So one of the other worst times we had this year, travel times, was planning for Iceland. So when we were in England,
sorry.
When we were in England, we were sort of planning our trip to Iceland, and it was looking like it was going to be a complete disaster. We had accommodation and car hire sorted, but then just a week before, both of them fell through, and it was just like, well, what are we going to do? It's really last minute. One of the things we did in that week was get a credit card, which I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but basically part of the problem was not having a credit card, because when you travel, sometimes you need a credit card, not a debit card. Anyway,
Special tip.
Yeah. Because Iceland's really expensive, and if you book in advance, it's a little bit cheaper. So we planned everything months in advance, and then right at the last minute, everything was falling through, and I was quite nervous about driving.
Alright, here we are in our rental car.
How was that going to work out? So I was nervous about that. We were taking my sister, which was, I really wanted to take her.
Tell us where we're going.
Iceland!
Yay, let's go! Woo!
We're taking Emily, my sister.
Yay!
When it came to it, I was like, okay, it's a kind of an added pressure, because, what if she gets lost, or what if she just, normally I'm just responsible for looking after poor Tambe, who...
And yourself.
Yeah, and myself. Now there was a third person. Anyway, that was fun. But how did it turn out?
So, luckily,
good memory.
it turned out to be one of the best trips we took all year. Iceland is really like no other country we've ever seen before. Again, we highly recommend visiting Iceland if you get a chance. It is ridiculously expensive.
But worth it.
Still worth it, yeah, it's still worth it. We had the time of our lives. It was so special. Just driving through Iceland and just looking out the window is worth the trip. It sounds really boring, but it was so interesting and so different to anything we've ever seen before. And we've traveled over 3 years by that point, so we've seen a lot of countries.
Yeah. And it really is amazing.
Different landscapes and all that. It really is.
The food is kind of bad as well.
Yeah, the food's not great. But again, it's still worth it. Yeah.
And the people are really hot.
You have to see all the amazing, incredible spas that Iceland
Yeah, we went to the Blue Lagoon.
The Blue Lagoon.
That was really good. Next stop, the Blue Lagoon. Yeah, we actually worked with the Blue Lagoon, and I'm really glad we got the chance to go there because it's incredible. It's really beautiful. It's really relaxing. And they were my favourite photos that we took in Iceland.
Yeah. And it was one of our favourite days of the whole year. It was such an incredible day.
And the driving went really well.
Yeah, oh yeah, true.
Thanks for asking. Yeah. And the accommodation and the car hire was sorted out. Okay, another highlight of our year was going to Budapest, Hungary. This is now my favourite city in Europe.
We're in Hungary.
Yay. Woo. I love it. It's grungy.
Lauren's a new best friend.
It's pretty, it's arty. There's great food, great alcohol, great people, and we just had an amazing month there. I was going to say summer, but we really didn't.
I wish.
It's also really great if you want to sort of check off some other European countries. So we went to the Czech Republic and Bratislava when we were there, and Croatia as well. So it was just a great, I just loved it. It was a great base, and it's a really fun city. Plus the spas, I completely forgot about. They have these amazing thermal spas, and I think it's something like the most thermally city in the spa-y world. I don't know. There's something great about the spas. We loved it.
They're great all year round. If you're in Budapest in the summertime, just go there to have a chilled out, relaxing day. If you're there in wintertime, go there to warm up.
We've got to go back in the winter.
We've got to go back in the winter, yeah. So
take us back, Budapest.
Yeah. The only thing that was not so great,
so this is a bad memory,
which is sort of a bad memory, but not really, was that Budapest has a worrying number of homeless people. But we did look up what we could do to help these homeless people, anyone could do to help these homeless people in Budapest. And there's a great organization called Budapest Bike Mafia, and you can go and check out their website. There's a link in the description. And if you're ever in Budapest, consider helping. Okay, so we made the sandwiches. And now the sandwiches are being given to the homeless people.
Yeah, so you can make sandwiches, you can go along with them and hand out the sandwiches, and they're like a really great group of people. And even if you just go out and hang out with them and have a beer and, you know, discuss what you can do to help, because I'm glad we did that. I thought it was important.
Yeah. So both of us really enjoyed Hanoi in Vietnam.
We're in Vietnam. Woo!
Which is in the north of Vietnam, and we didn't anticipate that, so we only stayed there for, I think, 7 days?
4.
Felt like 7 apparently. But we had a great time. There's a real French vibe going on, international and vibrant, really interesting, great city with great people. This is the Hanoi street market, night market, that's right. Looks really cool.
7 till 11.
7 to 11 at night. On
in the weekends.
Yeah, weekends, right?
So on Angao Street.
Great food.
Great food. We did a food tour, 2 food tours, and we had a great time. I got a haircut there, which was really quite an adventure and a very interesting haircut.
They were all over you. They loved you.
But they were all over.
It's that time again. Tamo's getting his haircut.
So that was really good.
I love Hanoi.
And so yeah, the only thing that was not so good is that we didn't stay there longer, but we didn't know at the time.
I have a bad point as well.
What?
Although Vietnam is probably my favourite country that we went to all year, we do of course have a bad travel memory for you.
Oh yeah.
So we flew from Saigon or Ho Chi Minh up to Hanoi. We got there really late at night, so like 12 or 1 or something. And the plan was to sleep in the airport, but then we remembered we don't sleep in airports because
that's another good travel tip. Don't sleep in airports if you can avoid it.
It's our gift to ourselves. Like we did it so much in 2015 and it's just horrible. It's like the worst. I just hate it. Anyway,
it's very annoying.
So we weren't going to do that, and then we looked online and they have hotels in the airport, and they're these little pods and they look really cool, and we decided to book one. So we did that, and then we got there, it was really late, and we just could not find this pod, and we were looking everywhere and it wasn't there, and we were like...
It was a big airport.
Yeah, there were like...
all the lights were off, it was dark, and there was no one at information.
There was no signs.
There was no one.
Okay, we're still looking for this place where we're sleeping. It's at the airport, but we have no idea where. This airport is bigger than we thought, and Laura's just got up the stairs, and I hope it's up there somewhere.
And then we were thinking maybe we'll just sleep in the airport. So some airports you'll go to and they're full of people and there's nowhere to sleep, there's no benches. But Hanoi Airport has benches, it would have been quite fine to sleep there.
Which we didn't know.
Then we were there, we couldn't find our hotel, we saw these amazing benches, let's just sleep here. Then we saw a rat in the airport.
Yeah, you spotted the rat actually.
There was a rat somewhere there at the back behind there somewhere.
Yeah.
And then luckily we searched a bit more, we finally found our hotel, so it worked out okay. The pod was great.
Yeah, it was actually
I really
great.
liked that pod.
Really convenient, if only it would have been easier to find.
The sleep pod, which is what they call it. That's what it looks like from the inside. There's bed 1 and another bed in there. It is air conditioning here.
And all it needed was one sign that said it's on the 4th floor, and then we might have found it.
It is a great idea.
But thank you to that rat for being there and showing yourself to us before we were asleep, you know. If you ran over my face, I would not have been impressed. Okay, so one last highlight was going to Slovenia. We were invited there on a press trip, and we were like, well, okay, whatever, let's go, let's have a look. So we weren't really expecting anything, and we got there and we were so surprised because it's literally the most beautiful place in the world. It's so green, it's...
Wow, and here we are, people. This was worth the wait.
The 2-second hike.
The 2-second hike.
I think it's about 60% forest or something, so everything's green. They also have loads of beautiful lakes and rivers, so it's kind of green and blue. And
Hey, here we are. We've got Lake Bled behind us, and Castle Bled is where we are right now. And again, the water is just so beautiful.
the food is amazing, the people are amazing, the wine is amazing. They make wine there, they have wineries.
There you go, cheers.
Cheers. And oh my god, we had the best 12 days there, and we call it the New Zealand of Europe, even though we've not been to New Zealand.
That's what somebody told us, and apparently it must be true because it's so beautiful there.
It looks like the Lord of the Rings, you know, where they're like paddling along the river.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, you've got to go there. Go! So that was a real highlight.
That was a real highlight.
Okay, so that was just a few of our highlights and lowlights from 2016. I actually wrote a really long post with all the highlights and lowlights. There's a link in the description below, so please check out that blog post. It took me ages to write. I was just rambling by the end, so...
How many words is it?
7,000 words.
It's almost like a book. It's a free... We're going to market it as a free ebook soon, so read it while it's still a blog post.
And I'm sure there are hundreds and thousands of grammar and spelling mistakes because it was really long, so please feel free to comment and tell me the grammar mistakes.
We also want to know, how was your 2016? What were your travel highlights and lowlights? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day and check in soon for more fun from the travelling weasels. Weasel your way out of the rat race. Wow.